One of the most important variables to match up with the rest of your golf swing is your grip, making sure that one point of connection, your hands on the golf club, is set and complements the rest of your movement. If you're a slicer of the golf ball and you feel like the golf club's not sitting quite right in the hands, well then this is the video for you. Let's get into it. Welcome back to the channel, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Kerrod here at the Joondalup Resort. This video, we're going to talk all about your left hand connection with the golf club, and I'm going to show you an excellent way in your pre-shot routine to ensure that you're gripping the golf club correctly. Now, very often, what I see down on the driving range, for those who slice the ball and they struggle, so for anyone who curves the ball from too much from left to right, is an inability to put their hands correctly on the golf club. Specifically today, we're going to talk about the left hand, okay? So the left hand for the right hander or the right hand for the left hander. So what we're going to do is we're going to show you what I normally see out on the driving range. A player will set down to a golf ball and then they'll just put their left hand on the golf club like this. Now, when you do this, you do one of two things. Number one, you have too much what's called down hinge into this position, but then you also have your grip placed in too weak of an orientation. So what that means is that the back of your hand is facing too much towards the target. And then this is an issue because what happens is when we have a weak left hand grip, well then throughout the golf swing, the club face is going to want to open or turn to the right for the right hander, which is going to cause blocks and scooping and slicing and a whole slew of contact errors. So if we don't put this left hand correctly on the golf club to start, and you might have seen some of your buddies do this, they set up to a golf ball, whack their left hand on the club, and then put their right hand on like this, well then we need to make some adjustments if you are someone who slices it. Now don't get me wrong, you can have a weak left hand grip and still make some compensations in your swing to hit the ball straight. So only use this video and this little tip if you're struggling with a slice and you want a simple fix to try and get that grip in a better position. Now, the real cause of the issue here is how you grip the golf club relative to what you're doing from the address position. If I just bring my left hand onto the club, what happens is I don't have any cupping of that back wrist. So the cupping is quite important because it allows us to create hinge throughout the motion. So what does that mean? Well, if I just let my left arm play dead, relative to no physical limitations, you can see that my arm is naturally going to hang on about a 45-degree angle. So if I just bring that hand onto the golf club, you'll notice that it still sits on that 45-degree angle. The logo of my golf club is pointing up towards the sky a little bit. If I don't do that, I'm going to bring my hand on in this fashion, and then throughout the motion, all things being equal, is my hand is going to want to return to its natural hanging position. And as you can see, that's going to open the face. The ball is more likely to go to the right for the right hander. So if I chuck my hand on there and I don't do it correctly, it's going to cause a slew of errors. So the issue here is how we put our hands on the golf club. And it starts from when you set the golf club down. Two things happen here. Most players are trying to sit the golf club flat and then put their hands on, which brings in too much down hinge like this, which really inhibits our ability to hinge and create speed in the golf swing. But also the orientation of how the hand works doesn't allow us to have a secure hold, and you're more likely to grip it in the palm, you're more likely to add tension to your golf swing and therefore actually slow your swing down. So how you hold the golf club, incredibly important. So how can we fix this? Well, my go-to drill for players who struggle with their left-hand grip is to simply take their grip behind the golf ball and actually do it in such a way in which they hinge the golf club up in front of them like this. So we're going to run through this routine a couple of times. You can see that as I hold this golf club up, the club face is perpendicular with the ground or straight up and down. I'm holding it halfway between the grip and the shaft. Now from here, the reason I like this drill so much, it's almost presetting the hinge or the angle that I would like at address, rather than it being too high and my grip in the wrong orientation here. When I hold it on this angle, as you can see, not out like that, but on about a 45-degree angle, as I lay my hand onto the golf club, you can see that it goes on a diagonal across my fingers. Now this is very important because when I close my hand and then I put my hand on top, well, it gets my hand then creating a slight cupping on top of the grip. You can see the Puma logo is facing more towards the sky. You can see there is a line formed from my index finger and my thumb, and that line points to my right shoulder. Once in this position, if I let my arm just play dead, well, you can see it is the same orientation as where it would hang naturally. So simply by following this little process, it ensures that your hands are set correctly on the golf club. So once again, I'm going to hold halfway up the grip, club face straight up and down. I'm then going to bring my hand in, and as you can see, I'm placing it from the base of my pinky through the first knuckle of the index finger, closing my fingers. There is a slight gap between the fingers here to get some coverage on the grip. And then what I'm doing is I'm putting the pad of my hand, the heel pad right here, on the golf club before my thumb. Now when I do this, once again, you can see I've created a slight cupping, but there is a lot of ability to hinge my wrist in that position. From the down the line, you can see that I can create sufficient hinge from doing so. Now a little checkpoint, if you've done this correctly, is to simply leave your index finger on the club underneath the pad and take every finger off. If you can support the weight of the club there, it means that your hand is in the correct position. If I was to show you what most players do and they just whack their hand on the side, and then I simply let the rest of my fingers, except that, come off, you can see it slides straight out of the hand. So we haven't put that heel pad on top of the hand to create the cupping, which then has the follow effect of allowing us to create width and sufficient hinge throughout the swing. So once again, this grip drill, incredibly effective for getting your hand, specifically your left hand, placed correctly on the golf club. So one more time, up in front of us, club face straight up and down, bringing those fingers on, close the hand over, and then from the down the line view, I'm going to put my right hand on there as well. So I've got two lines, one's formed from my index and my thumb, which is pointing to my right shoulder, and then my right hand's going to sit and do the same thing. From here, as I then put the golf club down, that sets the golf club face square, puts the handle forward, and it gives me the feeling that I'm pushing down on the handle, which allows me to create turn, hinge, and set, a lot of width, and that's going to lead to some more consistency, power, and a bit more predictability of how that golf club's going to approach the ball. So if you're a player who's struggling with a slice, you film yourself, your glove hand or the logo of your glove is facing too much down towards the target, you don't have a line between your index and your thumb, and the club face is getting open, causing a lot of slicing, excellent drill for you. Hold the golf club out, club face straight up and down, grip it on a diagonal, heel pad on top, lift those fingers off so you can see it's supported by the weight of the club, put those two hands on, set down into the golf ball, and then you're ready to go. So if you feel like this is going to help you, please try it out and let me know how you go down in the comments. I really hope you got something out of this video today. Subscribe and like if you did. But until next time, I'm Kerrod. Thanks for watching.